Hello everyone and welcome to Mind Garbage. My name is Eric Myers. Today I'm going to be talking about the year of gaming in 2016. Now, 2016 wasn't a great year for a lot of people, but it actually was a really great year for video games, and I want to take a moment to kind of celebrate that because this year is already shaping up to be absolutely amazing, where you have first party stuff such as Horizon Zero Dawn, the next Gran Turismo. Sorry, couldn't think for a second. And there's something else where Sony's supposed to be coming out in the fall, but I can't remember. And then of course on the wow, I went French there for a second. My apologies. And then on the Xbox side of things, you have, State of Decay 2 and Crackdown 3 and a whole bunch of other things that I'm assuming another Forza, and that's great. That's awesome. And not to mention, we have games such as Mass Effect coming out, and then you have For Honor, Ghost Recon, and I'm assuming another Call of Duty / Battlefield or something or whatever. So it's very cool that all this stuff is coming out. But let's take a minute to reflect on last year. Now, we're going to roll back a little bit even further. 2015, I believe, was a great year. It gave us, I would say, a few really, really good games. We had, in my opinion, two 10s at least between The Witcher 3 and Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a huge Metal Gear fan. I respect the series, not something totally for me. But still, from a gameplay level, that game totally spoke to me, and it was incredibly fun. Witcher 3, I feel like, should be the benchmark for role-playing games in the future, as far as big open world and all this sort of stuff. Got to see the trilogy conclude of the Batman Arkham series with Arkham Knight, which seems to be a bit divisive. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was the greatest, but it was still a great game nonetheless. But the thing that I notice about this year is that, whereas I felt 2015 had a few 10s, so to speak, this year had so many great games, so many high 7s and 8s and a couple 9s if you want to get technical. And I want to go over and talk of those a little bit. Going through sort of the beginning of the year, it tends to be the new fall now as these years get so front loaded, but we saw the release of Ratchet & Clank, which was a great game, a great 3D platformer. It's great that those still exist. I'm very happy about that. Far Cry Primal was another one that was really awesome. I believe about a year ago, I might have done a video on it. I think kind of talking where Far Cry should go next. But anyways, that was a great game that was so much fun. If you haven't gotten a chance to play it, you should totally play it. Along with that, we got to see the release of probably my game of the year last year, which was Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Uncharted 4 to me is probably, not only is it easily to me the best game of last year, I think it's one of the best games that I've played. It's a type of game that, personally for myself, playing it reminds me of why I love video games, and the fact that it's a great story, great graphics, great gameplay, all that. It's just an amazingly fun experience. One of the things that I also really enjoyed about last year was a couple games that were sequels that I hadn't necessarily played the previous iterations of, but turned out to be very surprising and very fun. The two ones that come to mind specifically are Deus Ex: Mankind Divided and Titanfall 2. Now, I've already played and beaten Titanfall 2. I've got the platinum in it, and as well as Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. I'm actually going through Deus Ex again, playing it, and just for the fun of it, because there's not too much to play right now, even though I have still an insane backlog. But the thing that I really enjoyed, it took me surprised about these games, were the fact that with Titanfall 2, it's a little different because that's a shooter, and I thought overall the campaign was getting led into it that this is going to be the most amazing first-person shooter campaign that I was ever going to play. I didn't think so, but it was still really fun, and it was really enjoyable. That being said, Deus Ex was a game that I had zero expectations for. I was bored, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. And I enjoyed it so much. If you haven't gotten a chance to play it, you totally should. It's an incredible game, and I think that you would really enjoy it. One of the things that I enjoy about it specifically is its world building and the parallels that they unintentionally draw to what was going on in our world currently. and I think it's not to get, overly political or whatever. It doesn't necessarily take a side. It just kind of puts a message out there and lets you decipher and feel however way you want to about it, set within the fiction that the world was creating, which I think is awesome. That's important to any fiction, that you have to create your own, fiction, as it were, and create a world. Another game that I thought was absolutely fantastic, I've beaten it twice. I'm in the middle of another third playthrough, kind of going through, and I'm very disappointed that this game has not sold as well. It's Dishonored 2. Dishonored 1, when that first came out in 2012, I played it, and I think I beat it the first time, and it didn't really click with me the first time I beat it. Then I went through and was like, I'll play it again, give it another try, because I like trophies and achievements. And that's when the game really opens up, is when you see the different pathways and the different options that you have for all these sort of things. And Dishonored 2 is, to me, what a perfect sequel is. It just takes what works great about Dishonored 1 and just expands it and blows it up and makes it even bigger and better, but not too big. One of the things I noticed that I actually really liked was in the E3 demo, I remember seeing it thinking like, man, this looks huge, and just an absolutely massive, massive scale of everything. And this is it is big, but it is manageable. And there's a sense of scale to everything without it being too over-encumbering or too big, which I really appreciate. And just the different powers that you get and the different moral decisions and things that you can do in the game are absolutely fantastic. One of the things that I thought was interesting about it was playing through with no powers on, which is a totally different experience even compared to the first one, because in the first one, if you played with no powers, you still had blink. This one, you have nothing, which makes it very interesting of like, how am I going to get over this without, sounding an alarm, because I could just far reach or blink or whatever. So definitely give that a shot and check it out. And I would be remiss to not mention 3 big games that came out this year that one of them I haven't played, but it's hard not to talk about, is Overwatch. Overwatch to me is a game that came out, and I'm not the hero shooter type of guy. Like, it's just not something that I particularly care for. I wish I had the time to get into those genres, but I just really don't have the time, even though I'm playing games left and right over and over. But the thing that I appreciate about Overwatch was creating a multiplayer that speaks to both hardcore players and casual fans alike. And I think that that's amazing. That's awesome. That's not very common to have happen, specifically with shooters. Games that I'll talk a little bit more in depth, a little bit more in a couple minutes, is Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Their multiplayer are very steep, have a very steep learning curve, whereas Overwatch is fun to play, difficult to master. I feel like this game is a Rocket League in a way. This is something you can hop into and have fun, and there's a story and a world to explore there. And it's not totally easy to find, but it's definitely there. So definitely enjoy those. And of course, I have to talk about the 2 big shooters that squared off against each other, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Now, I'll preface this by saying I enjoyed these games both greatly. I think Battlefield 1's campaign is just a little tiny bit better. But that being said, that's all personal choices and everything. Battlefield 1's campaign was incredibly special to me. I'm sorry, I just got a very concerning text message of saying to not drink the tap water. Is the waterman coming for me? But anyways, Battlefield 1's campaign was something that was very special to me, defined by these huge set pieces and spectacles, and really good character development, which was surprising from a game or a studio that traditionally has not had very good campaigns. They've had fun campaigns, but not great ones. And the multiplayer, still as hectic and crazy and fun as ever. Call of Duty, shockingly good. Last year I played the Black Ops 3, the year before. I'm still stuck in 2016. But I played Black Ops 3 campaign, made no sense to me, didn't really like it. I didn't even finish Advanced Warfare, trudged my way through Ghosts, and so on and so forth. I shot a whole video about this, but it got lost in the ether. There was no audio. It was really sad and disappointing. But the thing that I want to talk about with this one, real quick and briefly, is that if you dislike Call of Duty and you think that it's gotten a little too crazy, give this one a chance. This one is a lot more grounded. It still has crazy big spectacle, but it is done in a very, I would want to say, tasteful way. And I think that this is a very good Call of Duty. I would even go so far as to say it's a great one. So give it a shot. And my final special shout out to a game that came out last year. And again, there's so many more that I would want to talk about, but there's too many. There's way too many. There was way too many fantastic games. But the one that I want to give a really big shout out to, I reviewed the first episode, and I've been really bad about whenever I start reviewing episodes, I don't review the next episodes. It's Batman Telltale series. Batman the Telltale series is absolutely fantastic. As a huge Batman fan, I cannot express to you how much I enjoy it. I actually might do just sort of a video review overall of it, but just to let you know, if you haven't played it, check it out, and then perhaps watch my video that I'll make for it. So yeah, there was so many great games last year, and instead of dwelling on the negatives and horrible stuff that happened last year, let's look at the great that came out of it, which were fantastic and amazing video games. Also, sorry if I didn't mention any Xbox ones. I don't own an Xbox One, but there were still great Xbox One games. Gears of War 4 looks fantastic. Even ReCore looks a little fun. Looks a little boring, but also looks a little fun. Thank you for watching. If you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter at EricMyers93, link down below. And yeah, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.